Defended, and rebound. And I, again, after the weekend, came back here and full credit to them. They've taken some hits, and they came in here, and when you're signing the sheet at the start and you look, that starting five is pretty impressive. And then, you know, you're preparing and you look at the Wollongong game, because we got them next, and you go, this isn't anything to play around with. And I thought we had certain strategies in the first half with, you know, guard hitting all those, PJC hitting all those threes, and we were going under on that. That was a scout. That was our preparation for them. We've been really good and taken a step forward with the ball. Yeah. I think we've led the league this year in the least, through all our ups and downs, the turnover thing's been good. Yeah. And tonight we turned the ball over. We were a step off it in the first half, and then in the second half just went with a smaller lineup, got into the defense, and played really off X, off the dribble, and then got some guys going around him. So I said to every now and then in this, you know, you're going to play ugly games, and tonight for us, it wasn't pretty. We played a lot of straight up pick and roll because we were just struggling to get through stuff. And we haven't, over my time here, won ugly. A lot of times when we're ugly, we lose. So it was it was nice to get the win. And I got JG here because I just think over the course of those two wins and tonight, just his athleticism, running the floor, defending, the cornerstones, and I think the offensive side is going to open up for him as he starts covering these boxes. And it's been a great game against Brisbane, and then I thought in the areas that we talked about, good against Melbourne, and then tonight we were in diabolical trouble on the defensive end and some energy to it, and he brought that, and then had a huge basket with his left hand driving to the front of the rim. So happy for him, happy to get a W, and we get a day off tomorrow. It's kind of been a rough run, and we're about I said we're a third of the way through the season, and it was looking diabolical 2 weeks ago, and we're back in the hunt.
So we'll talk to JG in a minute. First, I did want to ask you about Kendrick Davis. Comes in, obviously, big-time scorer. He's got that kind of pedigree. But tonight, in the last 2 minutes, he had 4 consecutive plays. He stopped that Rob Baker certain layup. Then he had the rebound in traffic. Then he finds X with that great dime for the dunk. And then he attacks the rim and hits 2 free throws. I mean, was it an example of how he's maturing and also the leadership that he's bringing this unit right now?
Yeah, we've 100% good pick. It's becoming a more rounded player. And we talked a lot about defense off the ball. The coaches went into the locker room, just what a job he did in the second half defensively. And he played those last possessions with 4 fouls. Yeah. So he ended up on Lopez, and they were going down to him on the block, and he made some great plays down there, got some rebounds for us. And, you know, we had, Deli and Tim were a bit under the weather this week, and so, Bruce was really important tonight, played more minutes, and we went small and got Tim out of there basically after the first quarter. So those smaller guys like him defending, rebounding, and then putting the ball in his hands to get, because process was difficult for us.
JG, the last time that you guys were here, you had that really tough loss against Tasmania. Everyone's down, fans are down, Goorjian's being criticised, etc. Now you've got a 3-game winning streak. What is, if anything, has changed for the group from a playing group perspective, I think, in that the last real fortnight, I guess?
I mean, Gorge always says that. I mean, just going day by day, getting better. I don't think we're still, even after 3 wins, we're not in a situation to be like, okay, I think we got it under control. Yeah. I think we know what we're capable of, and I don't think we reached it yet, and we're just every day getting better.
And you personally, and I know we've spoken about this before, but just the adjustment from being the starter now coming off the bench as a guy that obviously Goorj is really relying upon to give that punch, that energy, that production. Do you feel like you're really starting to get in the flow of that situation?
For sure. I mean, I think for me, starting or not starting, I don't think it affects the way I play. So I think it was just better for me to be in the second group. And I think for me, the biggest thing was, like, I got to work on my energy, being out there, making plays on defense and stuff like that. So I think I've been better at that and just keep working on that.
How did you guys sort of stay with it? Because there was a lot of frustration out there. Obviously, a lot of missed layups, particularly early. The crowd's groaning. But how did you manage to kind of to stay with it throughout the course of that game?
Yep. I mean, like you said yourself, easy layups we missed. We had some turnovers. I think it was our mistakes that it was just because of us, ourselves. We were doing it ourselves. So we just had to lock in, come together as a team. Katie was being the leader, bringing us in the huddle. So, yeah, just silly mistakes. We just got to fix those.
How impressed you with Xavier and the way he's really stepped up and become like the MVP that we all know he's capable of at both ends of the floor, even when he's he's having these struggles offensively at times, but then getting over that and staying positive at the free throw line as well. I mean, how impressed have you been with him, particularly over these, obviously the whole year I know, but particularly given what he's done over the last 3 games?
I said it before that, and we talked about it, that his attitude during that, and again, all the noise that you talked about, we've stayed in just the guys in the room. And whenever something happens, the finger's going to be pointed there or here or what, just stay and keep moving forward on the day-to-day. And as you're not going to shoot 20% from the foul line for the season. You're going to, as we evolve, you're going to have the ball in your hand more as we figure this thing out. And I think a lot of them have dealt with frustration through this process, but how they've handled it has been huge. And then tonight's just another mark in there of winning ugly and playing good, and everybody's clap, clap, clap. Tonight there was total frustration. And, this isn't happening, this isn't working. Oh, we need this, a missed layup, a call here, a play there. Everything was rugged tonight. And, again, just like the practice and just like we've talked about, I liked where we went and got contribution from a lot of these guys. That Bruce tonight was huge for us, huge tonight. And plus minus with JG, like I said. So good signs. We get a deep breath and get a little bit of rest, and we're at home now for like a week to prepare for a big one.
And that,
I was just going to say, well, you mentioned Suarez. Obviously, he was crook. Like, how crook was he? And obviously, he was, like early on, it was a tough night up against Meninga, and he was sort of.
He trained, and both of them were. It's not knockout. It's just it was a big weekend emotionally and physically, and both had a little bit of something and missed a day of practice.
Yeah.
And then I just thought tonight, energy-wise, when we started, a shade off both of those guys for how they've been, and that edge is what's given us the lift. So the bench, as I said, became very important. But Tim's our second leading scorer and has had an incredible season. This was, like I said, just one you put there and you keep moving forward.
You're on the road now for a while, but how much confidence does it give the playing group that your record away from Kudos is strong? It's better than your home record.
Yeah, and again, I just think the guys are enjoying the day-to-day, and they're getting better, and we're kind of staying. Everybody's beating. I don't even look at the ladder. It's just how are we playing? How's the team growing? And I just like the day-to-day. I like where we're headed. And today, a lot of people could look at it as a negative. Oh, they didn't play well. But I was really happy that we won a game like that.
Coach, you guys have had success playing up and then picking up full court and then pushing the pace. 14 points off turnovers tonight. Feels like that's something you guys are picking up in the last couple of games. How do you drill that into the team to continue to sort of forge that identity?
Well, I think the practice session, and we've been working at that, and the elite teams in this do it. And again, you got to make an assessment on your talent, and you look at it, and I look at my group, and I go, I've got guys, our team can do this. Got to start pushing those numbers and play those guys on the bench more. So I've said to a couple of them in the Brisbane game, I was taking guys out that are kind of anxious about, if I want to play more, and they were exhausted, and it was because of the pace and the pickup of the ball. So it's something that we're really, that defensive side of the ball and the pickup is something that we're really working at.
JJ's playing with pace like you have the last couple of games. Is that something that you're more comfortable in?
For sure, absolutely. I think we have a lot of players that can get out and run, and like you said, pressuring the ball up 94 feet makes everything a lot easier. So whenever we're not taking the ball out the net and just able to get the rebound and run, I think that's where we're at our best.
How did it feel to make a left-hand layup?
Pretty elite. It's my favorite play. Got injured with a shoulder surgery, so left-hand layup has made my day.
Preparing for Illawarra coming up, and obviously the team hasn't had much success against them in recent years. It's been a while since the Kings have had a W. Going into that.
Well, I don't know what they did before, but I was here last year, and we lost to them, and they were pretty good last year. They won the championship.
Well,
they were a hell of a team,
Yeah.
and we had a couple good games here, or a good game here against them, and played them tough. And right now, I think you're starting to see them, the depth of talent that they've got down there. So again, it's a great challenge, and this is this team, and it's a completely different than the last team. This is our first game against them, and again, it's a rivalry, a strong rivalry, and a game of importance to both teams, and we're excited about it.
JJ, what about the playing group? I mean, obviously, it's another regular season game, but those Sydney Illawarra games historically have always had that little bit of extra edge to them, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too big into rivalry stuff, but I think, like you said, every time we play them, it's always a good game. So, I mean, I feel like the guys know what's to come when we play Illawarra, and we just got to lock in. I think we just treated the game the same, and, just go out there and play.
Coach, another way to that Hawks game is like JaVale McGee, and just the way that he's playing. Like his last, he locked in on the Kings, but the last two performances from JaVale have just been like what we all expect. Like, what sort of challenge is that coming up against a guy that's 7 foot, that's got that experience? How do you? What's the coaching mindset going to a game like that?
Well, I mean, Bryce, Cotton, McGee, they've all got. He's one is from the time he arrived to now. Now he's in shape. As this thing goes along, you get in better shape. And he was a very, not an NBA player. He's a very good NBA player, and he's huge. So there's aspects that are a real advantage for them, but too, the flip side of it is trying to exploit other aspects. And how we played tonight, I think, guarding X, who does he match up? It's who takes the most advantage of the mismatch. And instead of, we're not going to have a guy just like him that goes head to head. It's like he's got to guard something a little different for him, and we've got to deal with something we don't have. So it's a mismatch, and I think who takes advantage of that is going to have a big say in who wins the game.
Just a quick one on Clayton Lloyd. Obviously, we're shooting 1 of 10, I think, up until midway through the fourth. Then he hits those 2 big threes to, give you the lead, never lose it from there. How impressive is it that, he maintains that confidence to shoot the ball even when it's seemingly not his night?
He ain't changing, and that's that. And he's a firecracker, and it's interesting tonight. When you look at his shooting, most of the misses were on the rim. He got his shoulder down. It wasn't like he was 1 for 13 from the 3. He just got his feet in the paint, got around the rim, and we kind of had the yips, the whole team there. But his ability to shoot that ball on the perimeter at the end of the game really stretches the floor. You got to guard it, and it opens up the floor and gives X more room, gives KD more room, gives JG more room. So he's a really important piece, and he's always got the green light.
Anything
Chris
on-
online, do you want to try again?
Am I coming through okay now?
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, I'll just be quick. JG, you don't play at home now again until December 17, so the two-part question, how are you feeling about this run coming up? And secondly, how nice is it going into it with some winning momentum?
Yeah, me personally, I haven't thought about the road trip coming up. I mean, I take a game day by day, but I mean, I don't think it changes how we play. I think we play probably the best when we're on the road. So, yeah, just looking forward to it, to be honest.
And Gorge, would you prefer if your players don't sort of challenge the opposition coach to take a coach's challenge and then it ends up going in the other team's favour going forward?
I'm going to have a look at that one. Everyone said that's going to go our way. It's good he challenges it, so now he eats it and uses it. So I was very shocked when I got the tap and said they won it. So I'll have a look at it. But our bench was like, let him, you know, that's a win for us. So not really good.
They do feel like a lottery though, don't they, at times?
Yeah. I mean, our guys watching it and saying we're good to go, and we weren't.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.